let's mix in some NFL here because I think there's a very interesting situation brewing in Las Vegas with Davante Adams and the Las Vegas Raiders. Davante is probably, I don't think, even in doubt now, has played his last snap of football for the Las Vegas Raiders. Antonio Pierce doing what young, inexperienced head coaches do, liking a post, talking about a Davante Adams trade. Davante Adams reportedly demanded a trade, according to Adam Schefter at ESPN, and now the Las Vegas Raiders are letting teams know that they would be willing to trade Davante Adams for a second-round pick and further compensation, which means cash. Davante Adams has a good bit of coin left on his contract, and the question that I would ask is, yeah, he's got a good bit of coin left, but how much talent does he have left? How much gas is left in the tank? I think a good bit. And I think that there really are only a handful of teams. And if we're being honest, isn't there only one? And it's the Dallas Cowboys that should be trading for Davante Adams. You look at that situation in Dallas right now. You have Dak Prescott, a franchise quarterback. You have a guy in CeeDee Lamb, a franchise wide receiver that you paid. Both of those guys, tons of money a few weeks ago, and you don't have a number 2 wide receiver. Davante Adams is a great fit. Jake, should the Dallas Cowboys trade for Davante Adams?
Yeah, well, I definitely think you should trade for Davante Adams, especially coming off a situation where you claim that you didn't have enough money to sign Derrick Henry, and then Derrick Henry promptly came in and kicked your ass. Like, I think that was a bad look for Jara. And this is yet another opportunity to give Dak Prescott something to work with. And again, are you really going to sit there as a billionaire, as someone who has the money very clearly? You're really going to sit there and tell us that you couldn't figure out a way to go out and get this deal done with the Raiders? And this is Cowboy fans' plight in life. Hey, got quarterback, got some boys on defense, don't have anybody in the wide receiver room who's reliable. And yes, that would include CeeDee Lamb, because I don't call him reliable. He's talented. He'll make big plays. You'll see him on SportsCenter. But when you need him most, what do we get? Hits him in the hands. He drops it. Probably is not coming through for you. So if you're the Cowboys, yeah, I think adding Davante Adams is an absolute must, because that would create a dynamic where you've got now not one, but 2 guys the defense has to truly respect. But I also think if you're the Cowboys, you have to understand there's going to be a lot of competition in this situation. I think if you're the New York Jets, you need to take a serious run at this. You need to take a serious look at this, because this whole thing that's kind of, and maybe brewing is harsh, but just we're seeing it week in and week out, where Garrett Wilson is frustrated, feels like Aaron's not looking for him, feels like maybe Aaron's not finding him, like they're just not quite on that same page. To me, if you could add Davante Adams and bring those 2 guys back together, Aaron Rodgers and Davante, that would be a really pragmatic and smart move for a football team that has only one success factor. Did you win the Super Bowl or not? That's the only thing that matters for this team. And they essentially have 1 year to do it, given their cap situation. So to me, I think it's two teams, the Cowboys and the Jets. And sure, maybe other teams might take a look at it, but those are the 2 teams that I would look at as serious players to go out and take a run at Davante.
Yeah, and what would you be willing to give up for Davante? I think it's really interesting that they're only asking for a second. I'm really surprised they didn't at least try to get a first, but that tells me that the Raiders really want to make that trade happen. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm happy to give up a pick, and I'm happy to give up a lower round pick to go with it. I think in the NFL, we see on a regular where guys are traded for a pick. I think if you get a second round pick and you are able to renegotiate his contract, because again, I don't think if you are the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Jets, I would love to see the Chicago Bears go get him. I don't think that you can trade for Davante Adams without renegotiating his deal.
Right.
His cash goes up significantly next year. I think he's in the mid 30s. It has to happen.
But look at the situation from Davante's point of view, and I think this really will impact that contract negotiation situation that's definitely going to have to get worked out. To your point, Davante Adams went to the Raiders thinking, "Hey, I'm gonna link up with Derek Carr, and this is going to be my Aaron Rodgers 2.0, and I'm going to get out from under Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to go show the league that I can ball out with another quarterback." That was kind of the play. And then Derek Carr promptly heads to New Orleans, and you haven't had a quarterback since, and it's been a dumpster fire since that.
Well, who's the dark horse? I would pick the Buffalo Bills to get in on this as well. You clearly need another wide receiver. You have a defense that I think is, as always, hurt, but competing. And you're going to have to, at some point, get in a shootout. And you need a guy like Davante Adams. If you're going to go through, I think probably Baltimore is the odds-on favorite at this point. Thankfully, the Kansas City Chiefs are almost dead, mainly because Patrick Mahomes throws himself on the ground and Travis Kelce's washed. Baltimore is very good. Chiefs, I hate to even say it out loud, are very good. Still, they're always a threat to three-peat here, but if you put Davante on the Buffalo Bills, does that put them in a position where they can now compete at the top of the AFC?
I think so. I mean, I think, the big takeaway from that, that Ravens Bills matchup was, hey, like, the Bills just weren't good enough offensively to compete. You didn't have enough weaponry to make that defense respect you, because that's ultimately what happens. And I think this could be lost on some people. If you watch football regularly, this isn't lost on you, but for the casual observer, if you don't have enough wide receivers or threats that are going down the field, the defense doesn't have to go down the field. The defense doesn't have to respect what you don't have. And so, yeah,
Well,
I mean, if you can add Davante, that changes everything. And I think we know what Josh Allen's capable of, as far as deep shots and getting the ball to Davante. Like, I think that'd be a nice matchup. But I don't know, man. Are the Bills an organization that prioritizes offense to that level?
No, you have the wrong guy as the head coach in Buffalo. I maintain that. And I also think the other team that I would bring up here is the Kansas City Chiefs. And with Patrick Mahomes ending Rashee Rice's season because he threw himself on the ground like a dumb NFL quarterback trying to make a tackle.
Which is just kind of weird.
Yeah, which is why quarterbacks shouldn't be trying to make tackles. You don't have a number 2 receiver now. And if you lose, and I don't know how that ACL is not torn. Come on. I don't know who is even the second best receiver on that team. How about Xavier Worthy?
Yeah.
Because Travis Kelce, in my opinion, he ain't coming back. He's washed. Davante Adams is exactly what they need there. He can be a possession guy. He's a great route runner. He can be a down the field guy. If you're serious, how many teams have had the opportunity to three-peat in the history of the NFL?
Yeah, and I also think for the Chiefs, like, there's rumors swirling before this Davante situation developed the way it has. There were rumors swirling that the Chiefs were going to go and try and take a run at getting Tyreek Hill back. Now that the Dolphins are basically done for the season, their season's pretty much over.
I just think that Xavier Worthy is this great player. And I know Kansas City Chiefs fans got in our comment section a few weeks ago about this, but just because a guy can run a great fly sweep or run a post does not mean that he is a wide receiver that you can build your passing attack on.
Right.
And if Travis Kelce is truly not an elite player anymore, Davante Adams is exactly what Andy Reid's offense needs. And I would personally be, if I were in a position to make this deal, I would be super aggressive about it. If I am any of the top 3 teams, if I am the Detroit Lions, if I am the 49ers, just have so many injury issues. And I think their cap would be heavily impacted by this. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, why would the Baltimore Ravens not make a phone call here? Right? Why would you not? Why would the Jets, the Chiefs, if you are the Los Angeles Chargers, if you are the LA Rams with Cooper Kupp, why are you not making phone calls here? If you are the beloved, the Chicago Bears, my Chicago Bears should be making a phone call here. Keenan Allen can't stay healthy. Now, I'd rather you make a phone call and trade for an offensive lineman, but here nor there.
49ers, this McCaffrey situation is really hurting
their
them.
Cap, I was looking at their cap last night as I was laying in bed thinking about all of you. I was thinking about I was thinking about the 49ers and looking at their salary cap, and
I know it's not good.
It's
Not good.
it is. You would have to make some very tough choices, but isn't Davante Adams an upgrade to Debo? Brandon Ayuk has had a very difficult time under the weight of that deal and missing training camp. I mean, they just don't they don't have. I don't know that you want to commit that kind of cap space to Davante Adams because I think you're going to have to move on from McCaffrey. I think you're going to eventually have to move these pieces around.
I think the team that's got the most upside, like hey, if we add Devontae, it helps us the most, is probably the Cowboys. Because at that
Well,
point,
you're going to talk about cap space.
yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, right? I mean, their cap situation is tough, but I still maintain, I think, the thing is, the difference between the Cowboys and the 49ers when it comes to the cap, obviously the money's different, but like Jerry Jones is out here constantly saying that they're all in and they're trying to win. And it's this whole thing where it's like, hey, you want to tell us one thing, but then you want to use the excuse of, hey, we didn't have enough money to go after Derrick Henry, so we brought in a cooked Zeke, and that's not really working out for us. Like, at some point, Jared's going to have to go in and say, okay, yeah, we're going to make this work. Because if you guys remember, the Cowboys, when the Cowboys are good, they have got a no doubt about it best wide receiver in the league type guy on that roster. And they haven't really had that guy since Dez. Honestly, you haven't really had that type of personality since Dez Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, Davante has an option at the at the end of 2024, but he's also not going to. He's not going to give up. I mean, he's looking, you guys, at $72 million.
Defer.
Right, he's got a $44 million cap hit. I would restructure his deal and do what's got to be done. And just looking at the situation, I think the Dallas Cowboys, if they restructure that deal, they probably could fit him under. But isn't this why you don't pay a guy like Max Crosby $30 million and Gardner Minshew $8 million?
Yeah.
Isn't that why you this is why you have to have cap management. And it's what makes the San Francisco 49ers situation, I think, so important right now in the moment, because you still have leverage over Brock Purdy in his contract, which is still a really young guy at a really reasonable number.
I mean, it's the Browns restructuring with Deshaun, putting in, hey, like, you got to play a certain amount of games. You got, like, protecting themselves from him being out for the year, because of that contract being so arduous. Like, I just think that teams like to say one thing and then don't want to go out and deliver the goods in the war room to go out and take advantage of the play. Because this is where Super Bowls are won and lost. Let's be really clear. I mean, whoever gets this guy, assuming it's a playoff contender who gets him, which I would think it would be. Yeah. I mean, this could be a potential Super Bowl winning move. Like, you're talking about a guy who can go out and beat man over coverage on his own. Like, that's a huge luxury to have.
Yeah, and I think you're right about Cleveland. That Deshaun Watson, converting that money into a signing bonus opened up $36 million, $35 million in cap space for them. Like, that's what you need to make deals like this.
So you're telling me that they can do that with Deshaun, but Jarrah can't figure it out? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I would go out of my way to make this deal if I were a contender, if I were any of the, because again, and maybe we play the power ranking game here, which we usually do in the NFL on Thursdays, but you look at Davante Adams, who's the best team in the AFC right now? I mean, I think you have to say Baltimore.
Yeah.
Based on the things we've seen, but I think I can make the argument for Pittsburgh to go make this deal. They don't have a clear number one behind Pickens, and I don't even know that Pickens is a clear number one. He's an upgrade for them. He's an upgrade in Buffalo. Baltimore, and I get it. They've what are they, 2-2? Baltimore, it makes sense. Kansas City, it makes sense. I would do it.
I agree with the Charger take. That makes a lot of sense.
You have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. So I would make a phone call. I don't know that it makes a whole lot of sense for a team like Minnesota, who at some point has to come back down to earth. Right.
That defense isn't going to come back down to earth. They're beating teams through scheme on defense, not through just crazy plays.
Their defense is dominant right now.
That defense is going to be there all year.
But their offense isn't bad.
Yeah.
But what about the Commanders? What about the Commanders?
See, and again, if I'm the Commanders, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, hey, our rookie quarterback's balling out for us.
And our defense isn't great. They're competitive. They're better.
Yeah.
Your defense in Washington's not great.
But can you imagine Terry McLaurin and Davante
Oh, my
Adams? I mean,
God.
that's lethal, bro. That's like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you can go up and down the league here and you can say, okay, cool, here's this team. What would it do to change their season? And I think when we look at the playoff contenders, like I look at the Eagles, this coverage
Oh, my God.
of Jalen and Sirianni's relationship is getting deep now, bro. It's
Stop.
every day that people are talking about it. And I only bring them up just to say adding a guy like Davante could be the injection of energy and positivity that maybe that room needs. But again, we'll see. We'll see. But I don't think Davante at this point in his career, having never won, is looking to go to, with
Dude,
all due respect, the Bears.
The Eagles.
But the Eagles have won. The Eagles have shown the ability to get there.
If I'm Davante Adams, I'm not going from the Raiders to the Raiders. I'm not doing it because isn't that what you're doing? You're leaving drama to go to drama.
Yeah, but the Eagles drama is potentially playoff good drama. The Raiders are garbage.
No. Well, I get that the Eagles have a need. The need is not the question.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni is a disaster. I'm not going to if that's my mindset, that a playoff, and I'll take the Bills.
Yeah.
Who I think absolutely should make it.
I think Ravens, Bills, Cowboys, those Jets.
I don't even know that I want the Jets with Bobby Saleh. I don't know that I want the Jets.
Well, he'd be going there not for Bob.
He'd be going there for ayahuasca guy.
Yeah, he'd be going there for first team all darkness retreat.
Yeah, I don't. That's tough, dude. Yeah. I think it is. I think it is very difficult.
Yeah.
If you are Davante, who's the best team in the NFL right now?
Oh, I think you got to say the Ravens.
Even at 2-2.
Yeah, I think the Ravens heard the noise about Derrick Henry, and I really believe this. I don't think this was just a matchup thing, although I do think the matchup favored them running with Derrick Henry the way they did. But I think that Lamar got questioned from the media about why they're not using Derrick. John Harbaugh got questioned about that. And what did they do? They went out and they said, okay, dude, here's your game. Show us why you get paid as much as you do. And what did Derrick Henry do? He ran over your ass repeatedly.
That 87-yard run.
I mean, it's just domination. So to me, yeah, they're 2-2. Yeah, is their season on the line every week going forward until you can get 8 or 9 wins stacked up? Yeah, it is. Absolutely. But who's playing the best football? The Ravens are playing the best football right now. And that's why they've got, that's why they're back to 2-2.
I can't wait to see how this trade goes down. There's a lot of people that think it's going to happen this week. It'll be quick, which I hope it is. And I hope it's a contender. I hope it's somebody at the top. I would love, again, as much as I'm not a Chiefs fan, I love that mindset. Yeah. We have a chance to three-peat. Let me go get Davante Adams.
Yes.
And let me tell Patrick he's never allowed to make a tackle.
Combination, dude.
But I'm serious.
Like Davante with Xavier is crazy. That's
Davante
tough.
with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's tough.
What would be, and he's a good cold weather wide receiver.
Yeah, he's used to it.
He's used to it in Green Bay. I don't think he fixes the Jets. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination he'd fix whatever that is in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And I think he wants to win. And so I think
people forget that about Davante. He hasn't won yet. Like they went to the playoffs in Green Bay, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl.
Totally agree. Kirk Mason, Vikings looking scary. Although, again, while I was laying in bed thinking about all of you last night, it's not like they've beaten the world. How good are the Vikings?
I think the defense is in the conversation. Yes, they're good. Brian Flores is a defensive wizard. I would expect nothing
Giants,
less.
Niners, Texans, and Packers.
They'll be in all those games, and I'd expect them to win like 3 or 4 of
That's
those.
who they beat.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's Jets, Lions, Rams are their next 3.
The Jets will be a good test. Good defense.
It's in Minnesota.
Yeah. I think the only question with the Vikings, it's very simple. Is Sam Darnold hot right now, or has he developed into this guy who can make these throws?
Because, I mean, statistically, he looks like a guy that's just playing really solid football.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's not somebody that has these. I mean, he's completing 69% of his passes. he's only putting up 233 yards a game, so it's not like he's had some crazy spike of offense. He looks like a guy that's really solid, and having seen a bunch of his throws, he's putting the ball in a position where his guy can make a play after the catch. He's not missing behind or high. He's putting it on the guy. And I think you got to give him credit for that. He is, but the one thing that worries you is he has taken 10 sacks in 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have some concern for that. But Kirk, I don't disagree. The Lions are really good. The Lions are good. UW fan Jim, great show, guys. We can disagree, but I respect your sources and love the show. Yeah, it's all good, man. Convergence of opinion. I'm not mad at all.
Again, I hope you understand. Leaving that conversation, my only ask was why you think the things you do. That's all I'm asking for. That's it.
I agree. Chris E, hello. Good to see you, Chris. Eagles missing all their wide receivers to injury. Every single one of them. Chris, I think
somehow
Chris,
that's not their biggest problem.
Answer the phone. The Eagles are looking for a wide receiver, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like, can we pick up the phone here, dude? Like, come on.
Oh, that Davante. Oh, man.
Keep it real.
Ooh. Hit the like button, Case says. Go, KC, all the way. I agree. The mayor. Holy poo. Adams with the Chief doesn't seem fair. You kidding? Can you imagine that? Mayor McCluskey, can you imagine that? I cannot imagine that. The Mayor University.
Well, and with the Chiefs employing the 12th guy on the field, I mean, it's going to be hard for them to lose.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I can't. Patrick Mahomes and Davante Adams is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because what does that do? That makes Travis Kelce a better player.
Way better player.
And to finally your guy, Xavier Worthy, all Xavier Worthy has to do is count the hash marks to the goal line. That's it. And Davante's actually a pretty good blocker as well. Don't forget that. He's pretty good at the point of attack. Fat, old Mormon, and dying. The Chiefs are the new Patriots. People will go to KC on discount just to ring chase.
Yes.
That's a really good point. I don't disagree about that.
Yes.
I don't disagree with that. Dan Davis, here for your daily dose of unreasonable Pac-12 hate. Keep it coming, boys. See, again, I don't hate the Pac-12.
And again, we don't talk on emotion the way you do.
Phenomenal Hebrew. The NFL is scripted if Kansas City three-peats.
Bro, you were so pissed last week. You came in on Monday and said that it's rigged. You literally did.
The officiating helped that Kansas City. I send Jake Instagram videos pretty much every day I follow a bunch of NFL accounts. All you get from me on Instagram is golf swings, and all I do is follow NFL accounts. The tape that's out there of just how easy the NFL has made it for the Chiefs to win games. And then you get Pat Mahomes throwing himself on the ground, knocking out Rashee Rice for the year.
Nice job, Pat. Thanks, dude.
Can we all just agree? Quarterbacks, if you throw an interception and it's being run back, just get out of the way. Please don't. You don't do it. And Patrick Mahomes throws himself on the ground. I look like the 49ers. I don't want Brock Purdy making tackles. Even Christian, do you guys hear that Christian McCaffrey has bilateral,
Monty?
He has tendonitis in both of his Achilles tendons. Bilateral Achilles tendonitis.
We'll see you next year.
How? How, dude? Mike Smith, the officiating has been bad this season, even worse than normal.
Agreed.
I'm not the only one.
No, I mean, I agree. I think that they're really cracking down on the Jawan Taylor getting his first step off the line play.
When did that start?
Last week.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
What?
Just because you throw it once.
They didn't throw it once. He had 5 penalties last week.
Who cares? It should be 10.
It's never good.
It's every
that's
snap.
The problem with guys like you, dude. It's never good enough. It's never good enough.
Admittedly, I hate.
I can look around the league and find a bunch of dudes that hold on every play.
They do.
And I think that.
But it's the Browns holding penalty that pisses me off.
It is. That's a bad call.
But it's what I always say about officiating. It's not the call you make, it's the one you don't.
Yeah.
You don't call pass interference on the Chiefs. You let the offensive lineman jump offside every single
just
time.
Just because he took Buddy out in the end zone on a game-winning throw? What's the problem?
Mayor McCluskey, my Kia has bilateral tension in the gas tank. Exactly.
I get it.
Brandon,
I get that.
I get it. How about this Dan Campbell story? And I know I touched on this last week. Did you guys hear about he got doxxed by a jilted lover of his daughter? True story. Dan Campbell living his finest life. Guy's a stud, beautiful family, gazillion-dollar mansion. And all of a sudden, people start showing up at his house when they lose games. It's like, what the hell?
It was at this moment that he knew.
He
fucked up.
How did they get my address? Huh. Well, it turns out a dude that was smitten with Dan Campbell's daughter doxed him on social media, put his address out on social media. How do we know this? Because Dan Campbell's wife called the kid's mom. Oh, he would never do that. He supposedly erased it. It got so bad with fans showing up at Dan Campbell's house, they had to move.
Dude.
They sold the house, bought a new one. They had to move because this little rugrat doxed his daughter.
Bro.
What are you doing?
Idiots.
Brandon Butler. It's been raining flags this year. The flow of games is getting disrupted. I hate it. Mike Smith. Last week, they called a face mask versus the Giants when it was clear it should have been on Dallas. That would never happen. Skeeters. Dallas gets a lot of calls. Fat old Mormon and dying. Breathe on Patrick Mahomes. 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty and instant ejection.
Yeah, we're not making any changes.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes is down. Oh, quickly, get a shot at Taylor Swift. Show me Taylor Swift.
I got the YouTube TV.
Goddamn time. Right? The only reason the NFL is helping the Chiefs is so that Swifty Nation keeps watching games and buying tickets.
Here I am.
You want to know how many people watch? Look at this graphic. Look at how many people. Right? A lot of people watching the college football game. Right? Amazing.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby.
Right? Amazing. So many people. 12 million viewers. Did you guys see? And I need to take the graphic. The peak on the Georgia-Alabama game was 14 million people.
Roll Tide.
The NFL is pulling. What do you think the NFL is pulling for their primetime games?
I mean, I honestly don't know, but 20
million people.
Is it 20?
Yeah.
Dude.
I said, so the Georgia-Alabama game, the biggest game of the year. The biggest game of the year. And you're telling me you're pulling 20 million people for the NFL. And they're like, damn, our numbers are down. We only had 20 million viewers.
NFL's different, bro.
And look at these numbers. 4 million for Kentucky Old Miss. Kentucky. Old Miss pisses me off. Oklahoma Auburn, 5 million. The most watched regular season primetime game of any network since 2017.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't beat the NFL.
Nope.
Gotta get them Swifties in here, bro.
A lot.
She's quadruple platinum and stuff. Bring them to the house. Show her in the booth. Like, I understand it. I understand it. Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. You guys download the app. Tomorrow we'll have Thursday night football picks for Prize Picks. But last night, again, I'm going to stop.
You should stop
being in bed. I was looking at the NFL Prize Picks last night. There's not a great promo. I think one of the more interesting ones, Sam Darnold against the Jets, his demon number is 249.5, which means that's going to be hard for him to get. His normal number 224.5
against the Jets.
Yeah,
you can't take that demon, dude.
Lamar's at 211.5 against Cincinnati.
What's Jaden Daniels at?
Jaden Daniels is at 224.5 against Cleveland.
See, that's one I'd take. I like that. Is that a demon number?
No demon available on him.
Yeah, I would take that. Yeah.
Kyler Murray, 231.5 against Sam Frog Disco.
No, not taking that.
You're not taking that.
No.
Patrick Mahomes, 242.5 against the Saints. Justin Fields, 183. This is one of the ones I want to pick.
Hold up. You just said Justin Fields, 180 what?
Justin Fields against Davante Adams' future teammates in Dallas. Justin Fields 183.5 yards against Dallas on Sunday Night Football. You got to take more on that,
Have to.
right?
That's got Dallas messing it up all over.
I would agree. Bo Nix 176.5 against Las Vegas. Deshaun Watson 203.5 against Washington. Who's good, not great. There's a lot of winnable numbers on Prize Picks in the NFL this week. My guy.
Caleb Williams, he's on discount, half a yard.
Can I just have 5 minutes of freedom from you on Caleb Williams? Mom, what color are the nails this week, Marty?
Yeah, is he saying F you to someone this week?
Can I just have one day where I don't have to talk about Caleb Williams being a bust?
No.
Or that, no, hey, Marty,
No.
look, you guys
No.
are in last place.
No.
And Caleb Williams, he's no Justin Fields, but he'll do.
Men's parade.
Caleb Williams is fine. And then I see the Prize Picks number against Carolina, the worst team in the NFL, arguably, 215.5.
I think I've hit it every time.
You playing baseball today?
Shut up. I might. Do you guys understand that Carolina's defense? How many points do you think Carolina's how many points do you think Carolina's defense has given up? The best defense in the league right now has given up 50 points. It's the LA Chargers. How many points would you estimate Carolina has given up?
That has to be more than 100.
129.
Yeah.
So Caleb Williams at 215.5?
I think that's reasonable.
What?
What?
It should be like 355 and 4 scores.
They want you to win.
Caleb Williams is the greatest quarterback since Justin Fields.
Okay, see, now you're slurping them. You know what I mean?
You're a homer is the first part.
Take your emotion out of it, Marty.
How long, bro? Like
215.5.
Against Carolina.
215. You understand that Caleb Williams has 2 arms, right? 215.5.
Man, buddy's got 10 nails. We can see it across the field, man.
Who are you, Marcus Freeman? 215.5 is an insult.
Yeah.
It is.
Bro.
Thomas, it's not funny. It's not funny, Thomas. Hey, Morty. Hey, Morty. Ryan Leaf. He's no Caleb Williams, but he'll do. The mayor of Monty Town. Why did you come back to this show?
You want to explain that?
Caleb Williams is no Rick Meyer, but he'll do. Don't you talk about Notre Dame like that. That's a Notre Dame blast and a Chicago Bears blast.
Notre Dame, our mother.
Why do you say hurtful thing, Kay? Even Kay Nurin is doing it. When Kay Nurin is busting your balls, the Bears equal the Jets with a QB. Thank you. Is that a compliment? I don't think it is. Thomas? Real Trent Dilfer? Trent Dilfer. The DILF, you're bringing in a DILF. That's not funny. What actually is. It's not funny. 215.5. Yeah, I'll play some Prize Picks baseball today. I have to get I'm probably on Lindor today. But we'll see. I don't know. Caleb Aylmore. How about Purdy leading the league in yards without all his supposed weapons, dude?
Yeah, buddy can play.
The money he's gonna make is Mike Smith, bilingual injuries can really talk to you. Man, them Achilles tendons are bilateral, and let me tell you, they're chirping. I'm saying, yes, I read that one already. My apology. No, stop it, Mayor. Purdy is about to get paid, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Dude. Rex Grossman is still the last Bears quarterback to lead the team to a Super Bowl.
Thank you for living up to it, bro.
What, you couldn't use Kyle Orton?
Yeah.
Couldn't pull an Eric Kramer out of your head?